free speech. It's more than just words. It's the lifeblood of our society. It's the right to say what you think, no matter how controversial, no matter how unpopular. It's the ability to voice your thoughts, your beliefs, and your concerns without fear of retribution. It's enshrined in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, a fundamental right in any free nation, and it's the cornerstone of any democracy worth its salt. Without it, the very essence of democracy would crumble. Why? Because democracies thrive on dissent. They flourish when people are free to disagree, to debate, and to discuss. They need citizens to speak their minds, to bring new ideas to the table, to question and to innovate, to challenge the status quo, to push boundaries and to demand better, to hold power to account, to ensure that those who think they are in authority are always answerable to the people. Without free speech, governments become echo chambers. They become places where only one voice is heard, and that voice is often the one in power. Imagine a world where you couldn't criticize your government or protest against unfair laws. A world where dissent is silenced and conformity is enforced. Or where you simply couldn't express an opinion that is different from the majority. The richness of our society comes from its diversity of thought. It wouldn't be a democracy at all. It would be a totalitarian state where freedom is just a memory. That's why free speech is not just a right. It's a responsibility. It's something we must all cherish and protect. It's on all of us to use it, to defend it, to ensure that it remains a vibrant part of our lives, to ensure it remains a bedrock of our society. Because without it, we lose more than just our voice. We lose our freedom. Before Twitter, before Facebook, before even those AOL chat rooms we used to love, there was free speech. The internet used to be a platform for sharing ideas, debating issues, and connecting with others who felt the same way. Think about it. Every major social movement started with people talking, sharing their experiences, organizing and mobilizing for change. Without the ability to freely express themselves, those movements would never have been. And it's not just about grand pronouncements or fighting injustice. Free speech is also about everyday conversations, the books we read, the art we create, the jokes we tell. Do you remember humor before the PC brigade emasculated the comedians? It's about expressing our individuality and contributing to a vibrant, diverse society. From street performances to musicians playing in parks, free speech allows creativity to flourish in public spaces. It's the conversations at the family dinner table, where stories are shared and laughter is abundant. In classrooms, before teachers started pushing political dogma, there was lively discussions that challenged our thinking and broadened our horizons. It's the personal reflections in journals and the thoughts shared on blogs. Community theater performances where actors bring stories to life reflecting our shared human experience, often mocking the politicians of the day. And community art projects that bring people together to create something beautiful and meaningful. Free speech is the thread that weaves through the fabric of our society, connecting us all. It empowers us to advocate for change and stand up for what we believe in. And it's the celebrations that bring us together, reminding us of our shared humanity. Free speech is the heartbeat of a vibrant society, echoing through every conversation, every debate, and every expression of who we are. It's the original social network, and it's more important now than ever. History is littered with examples of those who tried to suppress free speech. Kings, dictators, authoritarian regimes. They all sought to control the narrative, to keep the power in their hands by silencing dissent and stifling the voices of the people. Even weaponizing the legal system against political rivals. They all feared the power of the people's voice. They knew that when people come together and speak out, they can challenge the status quo and demand change. Think about the fight for civil rights and universal equality. These movements were driven by the courage and determination of individuals who refused to be silenced. None of these movements would have succeeded if people stayed silent. It was the collective voices of many that created a powerful force for change. They spoke truth to power. They stood up against injustice and demanded their rights, even when it was dangerous. Even when they faced violence, imprisonment, or worse, they did not back down. And guess what? They made a difference. Their bravery and persistence led to significant social changes that we benefit from today, because change for the better rarely happens from the top down. It is often the result of grassroots movements and the relentless efforts of ordinary people. It comes from the bottom up, from communities uniting, organizing, and pushing for the changes they want to see. From ordinary people finding their voice and demanding to be heard. It is through their collective action that real, lasting change is achieved. Free speech is facing new challenges: online harassment, censorship, the fake fact-checkers, and Nazi-style deplatforming. Attempts to silence dissenting voices under the guise of political correctness. These are real issues. But the answer isn't to restrict free speech, it's to protect it even more fiercely, to promote media literacy, to encourage critical thinking and independent thought. We need more free speech, not less. Section 5. Safeguarding our right to speak. A collective effort. Governments can't be trusted to protect free speech. They are often the worst culprits. It's up to all of us. We need to call out attempts to stifle dissent, support organizations fighting for free expression, and most importantly, use our own voices. Don't be afraid to speak up for what you believe in. Engage in respectful dialogue, even with those you disagree with. Respect is essential. Don't drop to the level of making personal attacks and insults like those with nothing sensible to say. Remember, the moment we stop talking and listening is the moment we lose the very foundation of our democracy. Section 6. Free speech isn't always pretty, but neither is democracy. Let's be honest, free speech can be messy. Sometimes it's offensive. Sometimes we may disagree with what others are saying. We might think they are wrong, but here's the thing. Free speech is for those we agree with, and those we disagree with. Nobody ultimately knows what is true and what is false. But by listening to what everyone has to say, we can decide for ourselves what sits right with us. We can challenge ideas we disagree with, and by doing so, make our society stronger and more resilient. Censoring speech, even challenging speech, creates an illusion of agreement where none exists. It drives those ideas underground where they fester and grow more extreme. Section 7. The price of silence. The consequences of losing free speech are dire. Censorship leads to tyranny, to a society where fear trumps truth. History is full of cautionary tales, regimes that silenced dissent, leaders who imprisoned their critics. The results are always the same: oppression, injustice, and a stifling of progress. Section 8. The future of free speech. The fight for free speech is never over. It requires constant vigilance, a willingness to defend it even when it's uncomfortable. We need to teach future generations about its importance, to instill in them the courage to speak up and the wisdom to listen to others. Section 9. Speak up, speak out, don't back down. Free speech is our right. It's our responsibility. And it's the lifeblood of a healthy democracy. Don't take it for granted. Use your voice. Challenge injustice. Engage in respectful debate. Remember, the moment we stop talking and listening is the moment we stop being free.